thing is like politician. Everybody wants to go into government because of, oh, I want to go and chop my own national cake. So that's how most people say it. Oh, I want to be a senior because I want to also punish junior students. That's the way everything is. Everything is just in circle. Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Adobi. How you doing? Hope you're doing great and hope you're staying safe. Please kindly subscribe, like, comment. And today we're talking about bullying in secondary schools. I'm sure by now everyone should be aware of what's happening in Dowen Secondary School in Lagos. Sylvester, a pupil of the Dowen Secondary School, actually lost his life as a result of bullying that went on in that school. So I'm talking about generally about bullying, secondary schools and all of that. I say bullying, I think bullying happens in virtually all institutions, and we've kind of normalized it in all institutions. When I say we've kind of normalized it, like bullying is something that is like the corruption that goes on in current day Nigeria. We find everybody wanting to be politicians. When you ask them, if you look deep down, it's not like they want to change anything. They want any change at all in Nigerian system. All they want to is just go and save, chop money, eat their own share of the national cake, and then that is it. That's the same thing that goes on with bullying. Every junior student actually wants to be a senior student. Why does the junior student want to be a senior student? So that the junior student can actually punish the junior student when he or she is now a senior student, can now punish the junior student. So that's like, it now became like a trend and people kind of normalized it. Like, okay, what's the big deal? I was punished as a secondary school, as a junior student, so why are you now complaining and all of that? So that's what I'll be talking about today, bullying and all of that. I went to a federal government girls college, and then I was in and out of boarding house. I think I was in boarding house for just one, just two, and I became a day student. And this bullying thing, it happens even as a day student, but it's more with the boarders. Boarders are people that stay in boarding school. That's what we call them. So it's more with people with boarders. So I was in boarding school, just one, just two. I pulled out in just 3 SS1, and then I came back in SS2 and SS3. So many people will say, oh, you came back SS2 and SS3 because it's time to hand over. That's why you came back. In my own time, the days I dreaded, or the period I dreaded the most, is, you see, when it comes to handover was the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody on planet Earth as a boarding student. The next one was after inspection days. Inspection days for my school was on Saturdays. So what we do on Saturdays is that we go ahead to clean our hostels. Every school, or for my school, we had various houses. So we had 5 houses, I think. We had five houses. So we had 5 houses, and then you, in your own house, you have to arrange your house, sweep your house, basically clean your house. It was more like a sanitation period. So at the end of the day, lecturers or teachers will come inspect, and then whoever has the cleanest house becomes the first. So is it that Saturday is something, is it Saturday and Monday? Because Saturday is when they do the inspection, then Mondays are when they call the results of the inspection during assembly. Is it Saturdays after the inspection? I dreaded it so much. I dreaded it badly. There's one particular day after inspection, like, they called everybody, because what they do is, maybe if we're not able to meet up with cleaning up before the teachers come in for inspection, definitely the prefect in that house already knows that, oh, we might be coming last, or we might be taking second to the last position and all of that. So this particular Saturday, like, we did not finish our work. They called us into the, because it's quadrangle, we call it. They called us into quadrangle, and God in heaven knows that I was not ready to take any sort of beating. Like, you know, there's this thing as, I don't know, but for me, I had this instinct that, see, if you go there and they beat you, you might not survive. I had to go and hide in the toilet. Like, I had to hide, and as I was hiding there, I was seriously praying, because if anyone had caught me in that toilet, my beating would be like triple of it. So everybody normalized it. Oh, it is something that everybody have gone through. So what is the big deal if you also go through it? That's how boarding school is. So for my own school now, as I said, during handover is from SS3 to SS2. When it's time for SS3 students to go in for their WAEC and NECO exam, they now hand over to the SS2 students. And most times, before these SS3 students even hand over to SS2 students, there is this kind of beating they give to SS2 students, punishment they give to SS2 students as well, because they're trying to hand over. And then on the day of the handover, for my school, on the day of handover, when they've handed over, from your class, in short, if school closes, I think we close 1:30 or 2 o'clock thereabouts. Before 1:30, 2 o'clock, those that they've handed over, the prefect they've handed over, will stand on the line from your class till the dining hall. Like, they will stand on a straight line from where you are. Mainly you bell rings that it is, the alarm goes off that school is over. You will start running from your class down to the dining hall. And while in the dining hall again, they're also counting for you to rush and eat your food. After eating your food, they are counting again, or they've actually gone on the line again and waiting for you to run back to your hostel or dormitory. You can imagine the whole process. You finish classes, you're running, and my school was very hilly. You're running down to eat. They are now rushing you to eat your food. After eating your food, they are now rushing you again to go to the hostel. And when you go to the hostel, there's a 90% chance that as you are going, you just keep your back. You see them lined up for no reason. You did not do anything at all, but you just have to keep your back, and then they are on the line. They'll keep beating you until you go to your bed for siesta. Like, that bullying thing, people, we all saw it as, oh, it is normal. It is normal. Everybody saw it as normal. And at this point in time, I have to say that everybody that went to secondary school, this bullying thing, I don't think is now a secondary school thing, because I also see primary school students actually doing now. Even in university, one of my bunkmates actually tried to bully me. And I'm like, excuse me, I think I was in 200 or 300 level then, and then she was in 500 level. People already knew her as a bully, but when it got to me, I told her, see, girl, calm down. Like, you cannot even try it. This is a free zone. You find out that people actually grow through this thing. I'm sure she was a bully in primary school, secondary school, and now she took it to university, and people now wanted to worship her. And because I think people actually normalized it, or people actually accepted her the way she was, because she's from a rich background. She's from a very rich home. And then people now say, oh, you know, the Nigerians, now once they realize that you're from a very rich home, they want to worship you, they want to do everything to make you happy and all of that. I'm like, when it comes to me, girl, calm down. Like, we had so many fights because of this. Oh, this should be like this, this should be like that. And I told her, no, it's not going to be done. Like, the way it was in university, our spaces were shared. She now wanted to intrude into my own space, and I told her, no, if you have excess load, that is your baggage. It's not my baggage. You cannot intrude into my space. Even if I don't have what to put on that space, please just stay there, just be there. So you find out that she actually grew with this thing, and I don't know whether she's still like that up till today. So this bullying thing starts from primary school. We see primary school students actually bully their mates, bully their juniors as well. So let me continue with this normalization. And I was trying to say something. At this point in time, I think everybody that went to a secondary school and was a border actually needs therapy. Like, because what we went through, we've seen it as is a normal thing. I saw it as a normal thing. Like, okay, oh, the beats and everybody's goals. But as time went on, I just realized that this is not normal. When I was in SS3, I now realize that this is not normal, because I don't think I would say I ever hit anybody, I ever beat anybody in. See, I was just on my own. Like, I was on my own. I don't even think most people even know me. Like, I don't think people really know who I was, because I was just on my corner and in my lane. I just want everybody just there on your day. So most times we realize that we've grown with this thing, and some of us normalized it, and we don't know what it has actually done to us, the effect it has on ourselves. That's why most times you find out that people are just unnecessarily difficult because they were trained with that, difficult because they grew up with this. Oh, we have to prove ourselves tough, we have to be very tough, we have to be very strong. Imagine going through such beatings. I can remember one girl, I don't think I'll ever forget her name is Deborah. This girl, I think I was in maybe SS2, and she was in maybe SS3. I was in SS1 and she was in SS. I can't really remember the class difference right now. This girl is actually a very short person. Like, she's short. I'm not trying to laugh at. What I'm actually trying to emphasize on the fact that she's short is, this girl had the effrontery. It's not like we did anything wrong. She called after, this was after inspection. Everybody had finished beating us. The people that beat us were actually the prefects that beat us. Out of nowhere, Deborah came and decided to beat everybody. And in my head, I'm wondering, why is Deborah beating us? You're not the prefect. you're the only one that is a non-prefect that wants to beat us. So why are you not beating us? And guess what she's using beating us? Others were using maybe like cane and all of that to either beat us on our palm or beat us on our bum bum and all of that. But Deborah decided there's something they call go to hell hanger. Do you know what this girl did? She used this on our legs. Like, it was painful to see her, a non-prefect, actually beat us. And not that she's even beating us in the appropriate manner. She had to beat us on our legs. And I'm wondering, what exactly is it? Do you know that because of that flogging, that thing gave me a mark? And what even annoyed me with the fact with that mark is that it gave me a love mark on my legs. It took almost 4 years before that mark cleared off. I'm very serious about it. Like, that beating wasn't called for. But I don't know whether it's because she just wanted to feel, okay, let me just do it because I want to do it. And I will have to say, maybe that is my first time actually seeing it. I'm not very sure here. I can't really remember because it's been years I left secondary school, so I can't really remember. But if I would say, I think that's the first time she ever beat me, and that should be the first time she ever beat junior students, if I would say, if I can remember clearly. So you realize that maybe she did that beating because of peer pressure. Like, Deborah, you've not beaten any junior students. That thing happens a lot. We see it a lot in secondary schools. Like, I even saw so many of them. Some seniors had not beaten anybody, and you find other students, the wicked seniors, now come and say, why won't you beat junior students? What is there? All of that. You find people bragging about how they beat students. Like, it's like a bragging right. Oh, I've beaten this one, I've beaten that one, I told them to do this, I told them to do that. This is the punishment. Like, I'm talking about the beatings now. Let me now go into the punishment that they give some of us. Sometimes you're going to squat and fly your arms for hours. Like, that punishment is something that I would never ever give it to my worst enemy. Like, how do you tell someone to squat? Like, when you're squatting and flying your arms, your hands are shaking, your legs are shaking, and all of that. And the thing is, you cannot report to anybody, because if you report and they do anything to that senior, they suspend that senior or they deboard that senior, all the other shots, everybody will hate you for that. That was there. But because we did not even know so much. And then by the time you go and tell some of our parents, oh, see what happens, you know, back then our parents were very strict. They just everything that went wrong is always our fault. Okay, this senior beats me. The next question is, what did you do? You did not obey senior. That is why they beat you. You see that most times our parents too are not helping matters. But I like that this generation of parents are very listening and are trying to understand their children. I just pray that every parent will just try and understand their children. When I say understand, so that when things change from your child, if your child is a jovial type and all of a sudden your child now draws into his shell or her shell, you should ask questions. What happened? What happened in school? Why are you like this? You were not like this. Ask questions. But so many children are actually scared of talking to their parents because, oh, even if I tell my mother or my father, they will not believe me. They'll think I'm the one at fault and all of that. I think we need to do a whole lot better, because this whole bullying thing, it's no longer funny. And the teachers are aware of this. Like, they are aware of this. But sometimes there's nothing they can do about it because of the pressure from the parents. Yes, some parents actually pressurize these teachers in so many ways. Maybe that will be a conversation of another day. So I think we need to do better as individuals and train up our children as well in the right way. Yes, you train up your child. As I said before, peer pressure is also a very huge factor in all of this. So knowing what to do is just the best thing. We all know what to do. Train our children well. Let's instill discipline in all of them. Being a bully it does no one any good. You beating someone for no reason does no one any good. Even if the junior student insults you, it's either you go and report to a teacher will know how to discipline that child, and not you telling the child to come squat and fly your hands. After that, you now beat the person. Sometimes you beat these children, and then you now starve them from going to have their meals. Because during after inspections, once they tell you come to the quadrangle after inspection, let me give you the gist of secondary school was actually very tough, if I would even say. If they just handed over, then their heads are wild. Their heads are so wild. After inspection, everybody's telling you to come to the quadrangle. And after inspection, you're supposed to go for your breakfast. Dining hall prefect is already in dining hall, waiting for those that did not come for breakfast. Meanwhile, you're serving punishment in the hostel, and then another punishment is waiting for you because you did not go to the dining hall. You see how they complicate things for students. So after serving that one, you're now serving another one again for missing breakfast. At the end of the day, maybe when you're even serving that one for missing breakfast is when it's time for siesta. You now have to serve another one again for missing siesta. It was just a whole complicated, it was a whole lot complicated. Like, it was complicated. So I think we need to do better. We need to talk to our children, talk to our brothers, because some of us still have brothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews that are still in secondary school. Like, all these things should change. We shouldn't see it as the norm. Like, we should not normalize it. As I said before, this whole thing is like politician. Everybody wants to go into government because of, oh, I want to go and chop my own national cake. So that's how most people say it. Oh, I want to be a senior because I want to also punish junior students. That's the way everything is. Everything is just a circle. So I think we need to break that circle and everybody will move on with their life, and all this bullying thing should end. We should put an end to all of it. So I want to know your secondary school stories, your experience as a boarder. Did you experience beatings? Did you experience bullying and all of that? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you all later, and bye.